Indeed, you listen to Blue Please here on WoW Radio with myself, Total Biscuit. Welcome to the show if you've just tuned in. We have many listeners, left side and even side today. I'm very pleased by that, giving the server a good old workout, as it should be. Okay, now I have very, very, very many things to talk about today, including our epic giveaway. Over this show and the next, there will be 5, I did just say 5 questions. If you are able to answer all 5 of these questions correctly, they are not amazingly difficult. You just have to listen to the shows to know what the answer is. And email the answer to epicgiveaway@gmail.com. That is epicgiveaway@gmail.com. You have a chance to win one of the following prizes. European Burning Crusade Collector's Edition. 2 of those. Sealed and ready to go. 2 WoW TCG Starter Packs. A Turtle Mount card, completely unused and ready to rock. Thought you might like that one. And for the runners-up, of course, some signed by the Murloc WoW Radio Limited Edition comedy CDs, consisting of Blue Please the album and both seasons complete of Ask the Murlocs. Oh yes. All you have to do to win is answer the 5 questions that will be presented over the next 2 shows. Well, this show and the next. I'm going to give you the first 3 questions right now, so get ready. Our IRC rep will give you these questions in the IRC channel, so if you have nothing to write them down on, get in IRC right now. WCRadio.com, click the IRC chat button at the top of the screen, as kindly provided by MMOIRC.com. Thanks to Marzipan for that. The first 3 questions are as follows. These all relate to features in this show, so be ready. Question 1. What was the colour of the pantaloons? You will find the answer to that in the upcoming Nutcake news. Number 2. What spell do shamans hate? And that is from Rap in the Forums. Number 3. Which drawer does Metzen keep the Outland in? And that is from Ask the Murloc. Repeat. What was the colour of the pantaloons? What spell do shamans hate? And which drawer does Metzen keep the Outland in? Don't worry, those who missed the questions, you'll be able to listen back in the archive, and I will be repeating them a little bit later on in the show. Now, have any of you heard of a place called Digg.com? Digg.com's pretty nifty. Now, every one of you, I'm going to do a little experiment, just to show you how easy this is. Every one of you, go to WCRadio.com right now, okay? Bring up your web browser, go to WCRadio.com. Now, click the shows button, yeah, at the top of the page. You will see a list of shows. And they've all got these little Digg things next to them, and it says how many digs this has got. Now, Digg is a promotional tool. The more digs we get, the more our shows are seen. The more people come and listen, the more successful we are. It's awesome. Now, scroll down, you'll see Blue Please only has 64, because that's it. It only went up yesterday. So, now, everyone who hasn't already done this yet, click the button, Digg it. Okay? I'll just click the button. Now, I'm going to show you how easy this is. You don't have a Digg account. Okay, click join now. I'm going to now register live on air for a Digg account, and it will take me all of 20 seconds. Go. Okay, my username. My email address. In we go. My password. There we go. Password in, and my birthday. Birthday registered. Now I have to type in something here. I'm on about 10 seconds right now. ABKAFK is my verification code. Clicking continue. Come on. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. I am registered and done. That's how long it took. Easy. Verify your account. Dig all our shows. It helps us out a lot, folks. Trust me on this. That's how easy it is. Now, I have a whole bunch of emails to read out, but first, Blizzard EU has been rather a thorn in our side recently, and we have made efforts to find out why. Sadly, we have been brushed off at every turn, and I feel it's time to go public with some of the information that we have. Now, if anyone from Blizzard EU is actually listening, and they're not involved in this particular issue, I'm glad that you're not involved in it. Somebody is, that is clear. Whether or not this is a personal grudge, or some kind of policy change, we do not know. However, we have never once been informed as to the reason why this is. Now, our head of PR, Minuet, sent me an email today, which kind of clarifies the whole issue just a little bit. Here we go. Now, in September of 2006, the WoW Radio PR team began to try and resolve the ongoing issue between a certain person employed by Blizzard Europe and ourselves. We assume it's a certain person because, well, most people don't seem to know about it. we sent an initial email requesting some kind of correspondence. Eventually, we got in touch with a guy at PR called Gil Schiff, part of the PR team. Now, the PR team, our PR team and their PR team, exchanged a few emails, and Gil assured me that Blizzard, quote, does not treat our fan sites this way. And now, by this way, I mean banning anybody who attempts to post WC Radio promotional material on the community forums. Now, if you don't believe that this is an issue, may I tell you that today, a significant number of people were banned for posting adverts for Blue Please. All they did was post them on their own realm forums. People from their own realms were banned from their own realm forums, their communities. They were removed from their communities because they wanted their realm to listen to a show that they enjoyed. To promote a fan site which does not profit, and in fact promotes Blizzard's game far more so than many other fan sites. The biggest distributor of independent material, originally created media, in a World of Warcraft universe. A staunch supporter of this community, and we are of the firm belief that this is one of the best communities there are online, and we intend to support it in any way we can. Now, back to the quote. Apparently, Blizzard EU does not treat their fan sites this way. This is a quote directly from the PR team. We were then apologised to. And we were sent an email. Now, a certain someone called Paul, whose actual official name we do not know because sadly Minuet lost a few emails in her mailbox with a crash. Paul apologised again for this issue and let me know, quote, he was aware of a personal issue between an employee and WoW Radio. He promised to look into the issue and assured me again Blizzard did not treat fan sites this way. We were also assured that everything would be resolved soon. Okay? Now, about a week after this, our head of content, Deathshade, went on the EU forums, posted an advert for a show, and was permanently banned. We attempted to get in touch with Blizzard EU again, asking, well, why did this happen? Because you just said we were okay. No response whatsoever. We can't get a response on any channel. Now, here's the problem I have with this. Not only are my listeners, my community, and my staff being banned for no good reason whatsoever, and no public explanation has ever been given as to why this is happening. We've never been contacted. We weren't made aware of any grievance whatsoever. Now, I can tell you today that such people as Chris, Tyker, and Anvilbeard, of all people, Anvilbeard, the MVP, on Blizzard Europe's forums, were banned today for posting about this show. Now, I want to know what exactly Blizzard is so afraid of that they can't allow the advertisement of a fan site that does not act for profit, that aims to support their community, and a show that their employees listen to. We know this for a fact. They've emailed, they've been in the IRC channel, they listen to this show, they listen to our station, they support the work that we do. I want to know who is doing this, why, and I'm calling them out. I'm calling whoever this is out. Let's see if you are indeed a man or a mouse. Because if this is how you act to your fan sites, then good lord. I really do pity the smaller fan sites that rely entirely on those forums for promotion, because what happens when they start getting their posters banned as well? Will their site simply wither and die due to lack of promotion? It's pretty horrific, in my opinion, to say the least. What is wrong with promoting a fan site, I say? Absolutely nothing. Now, we have ourselves a little petition. Not that we believe online petitions help much, but we have ourselves a little petition for you. I am posting it in the IRC channel for you right now. It's www.wowirc.com/WRP. Now, this is pretty horrendous, I have to say. Really, really horrendous. It brings up an example. Back in the day, you may remember that Mindflame Entertainment, the producers of Illegal Danish and Zinrath, very popular movies, posted their trailer. They posted the trailer for Illegal Danish Escape from Orgrimmar on the general forums. This was actually on the US ones. This is the one and only time that I've seen the US moderators act out of turn. It's usually EU. US are usually supportive of their fan sites. They allow us to advertise. And everyone else to advertise, since that's what the community is for, surely. That is what the community forums are for. Now, That thread was deleted and marked as spam. Spam. A creative work created not for profit by World of Warcraft players was deleted and marked as spam. A disgrace, in my opinion. An absolute disgrace. And what really got to me is that most of the fan sites stayed silent over this. Most of the fan sites that rely on Blizzard EU for their promotion stayed silent. They were a little bit too scared to reply. We, on the other hand, weren't. Because WoW Radio, as you may be aware, is an independent organisation. Everything we say is our own opinions. They're not influenced by anyone else. They're not necessarily representative of the management of WoW Radio. They're just our opinions. We like to give you the score, as it were. That's my rant over. Now, before I go on to my first feature of the day, I'm going to read out a few emails. And I have a load of emails, to be fair. Absolutely loads of it. Okay, here we go. This one is from Snorky. Hi, TB. Glad you're back, and I got to level 48 while listening to your pre-show. Can you say hi to the Artisans Guild on Steam Wheel Cartel EU, who I forced to listen to your show? And Guild Leader, Mr. Temper Greythor. Now, shout-outs are going to be towards the end of the show, as you might expect. So let's see what we've got on this stealth reset issue. Okay. Seract says this. No, there was no stealth reset. Some classes tier 3 is better than tier 4. People are not taking the epics from Karazhan either because the tier 3 epics are better. Now, you see, I didn't actually mention tier 3, did I? Tier 3 is an interesting one because tier 3 generally is not outclassed, especially not by tier 4. Tier 4 is easier to obtain. I think they got it pretty right there. It's a shame that you have to go all the way up to Nax gear in order for them to get it right. Yeah, I've seen people running around in their tier 3 still. Of course. Though, you may know someone called Kikijiki, who has replaced some of his tier 3 already. He's also replaced some of his tier 2.5 with tier 4. Tier 4, easier to acquire, supposedly, was claimed by Blizzard not to be as good as tier 3, which they stuck to their word on that one, which is cool. But yeah, there was still a stealth reset. Doesn't mean that tier 3 is suddenly obsolete. It's going to take a while for that to happen, but it is happening, slowly but surely. It, to a degree, is class dependent as well. Some classes are getting rid of their stuff quicker than others. Now, Waltarian says this. There was a little reset, because many weapons and armor pieces were replaced by superior Imber quest rewards. Yeah, to some degree there was. It's like, it was done piecemeal. Bits and bobs were replaced. Bits and bobs were taken out and replaced with other things. Stealth reset. This is from Flesh Juice, level 70 Undead Priest on Exparitus, Staghelm US. While I agree that the game itself has been reset, the same guild that were at the top before Burning Crusade is still at the top. My guild has moved up a few ranks in terms of content progression, but the same guilds are the ones that had cleared Karazhan. Even though you bring the gear level to a more equal level, the dedicated players will always be on top. Yeah, that pretty much sums it up. It really does. The only thing that I've really got a problem with, to be honest, is that you're going to get... It's the progress. The progress was pretty much slapped out of people. And Blizzard is saying, well, your progress is not really relevant. That's the problem I have with it. You did all these instances, and yeah, all those hours you sweated in Molten Core, the most boring of all instances imaginable by man. Yeah, they're pretty much irrelevant. You can do a 5-minute quest and get a better thing for it. That's the problem I had with it. There's going to be gear replacement, of course there is, otherwise why do the expansion? It's just to that degree that I object to. Stealth reset. This is Mr. Toasterbot. He wanted to put forward his opinion on stealth reset. In my honest opinion, this is a stealth reset of sorts, but nowhere near the scale that you and Kiki envisioned in Epic. I would agree with that. I think we went a little bit overboard. I'd say that it wasn't quite as crazy. I myself replaced nearly all my gear already at level 64, but as level 70 is nowhere near as hard to obtain as many people thought it would be, people will be equal again in a month or two. That's actually pretty much true. I'll be talking about that a little bit later on in the show. The pacing of the expansion. Was it right? Was it wrong? Something's up. I'm not too bothered about the stealth reset, since by the time I hit 70, it's a slow grinder, a lot of people will be level 70, and gear will have evened out again. Yeah, pretty much. Okay, I've got time to read out one more before I do another feature. Edgar Roth of Shadow Song, TB. He says, I don't know why you're getting so worked up over this issue. I think maybe you're just upset at yourself for spending so much time and effort raiding for your old gear. Yeah, pretty much. I ask you this question, how many pieces of level 50 gear are you still wearing at 60? Same should be true of 60 and 70 respectively, no? Ah, here's the difference. Level 50 gear is leveling gear, let's face it. There was no end game at level 50. You could progress straight past it. There was no reason to stay there. The problem is that you had an end game for a very, very long time. Probably almost a year and a half you had this end game where people had to go. And that was their progression effectively beyond 60, just not in experience terms, in gear terms. If you've got that, and then everything suddenly goes pew down the tube, after you're spending an inordinate amount of time acquiring that gear, then that is, in my opinion, something of a problem. Now, I agree, of course, you expect to replace gear. It's just the ease of which it's replaced that I objected to. I mean, I wouldn't say no to replacing molten core gear at maybe level 64, 65, but it really didn't take very long to get to level 64, 65. Some people did it in a night. Admittedly, those were crazy, crazy people, but they did manage it. Now, you're listening to Blue Please here on WoW Radio. It's time for a feature, folks. Nutcake News. Enjoy. Nutcake News. Stop that. Good evening and welcome to this week's edition of Nutcake News, Azeroth's premier source for accurate information about the world of Warcraft. Hitting the news this week, animal rights protesters form a human, or should I say night elf chain, around the door to Nagran's local branch of fast food chain Mechanesingwaries, claiming animal genocide and overpriced condiments. Plus the latest, we bring you an in-depth report from the reformed gnomish flying circus after last year's horrific incident of fiery death. But first, the Blizzard government has announced its latest bid to prevent the so-called environmental issue Azerothian warming by opening several new recycling plants where players can trade in the old obsolete epics for new greener items. The It's Really Quite Simple Being Green initiative is offering a wide selection of these new environmentally friendly products and claims being Imber shouldn't cost the Outland. Go green today. The campaign has so far reported moderate success, with huge landfill-sized heaps of Arcanist being collected to be recycled into Blood Elf quest rewards. A representative of Blizzard is quoted as saying, "No one can possibly complain about this. We're taking useless items like Arcanist and using stunning goblin recycling techniques. We can turn them into level 10 items which are even more powerful than the original tier 1. He then pointed to his Blood Elf companion, who proceeded to mince over to the nearest Fell Reaver and kick it in the shin, causing it to fall over crying. He was quoted as saying that this is balanced and working as intended. However, not everyone is happy with this new development. It is reported that several members of the guild Nihilum have dressed Jihan in lederhosen and stationed him outside the Hellfire recycling plant, in order, they say, to terrify passers-by. Having actually spoken to their ringleader, however, we were told, in fact, no, this had nothing to do with the Epics to Greens recycling initiative. They just wanted to see what Jihan looked like. Several members were subsequently seen fleeing to the hills, attempting to burn out their eyes with concentrated noggin fogger. We did, amongst this confusion and hilarity, however, manage to find someone willing to talk to us about their objections to the scheme. Azerothian warming is a myth. Epics are no more polluting than these newfangled greens at all. This is all simply a ploy to make us look silly. See this? It's a baby sealskin pantaloon of the walrus. 67 stamina, 54 intellect, 107 spell damage, and 42 crit rating. A level 60 green quest reward, which is, as you can see, marginally better than Arcanist. All fine and good, you may ask. What a wonderful initiative this is, but no! Look! It's a pair of bright orange assless chaps with sequins. If I were to wear this in Orgrimmar or anywhere else for that matter, I'd be arrested and or beaten into a bloody pulp. Just last week, my companion Ernest, the stealthy undead rogue, received the so-called Stealth Cloak of Sneaky. It's a giant pulsating red flag. He tried to sneak past the drunken Tauren with it, and it charged him, skewered the poor bugger through the chest. Took him hours to sew it back together. Don't worry yourself about environmental problems when we have a fashion disaster on our hands. We adventurers can never be taken seriously again. Soon afterwards, our interviewee was seen running for the hills, a level 10 male blood elf having found his choice of attire rather alluring. Our conclusion: as much as you look like the fashion equivalent of Frankenstein covered in polka dot emulsion, greens are in fact the new purple, and this season's must-haves are here to stay. This has been a special Nutcake News fashion report. Good night.